Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dana, and this is my diabetic journey. I've been diagnosed with diabetes for the last almost 20 years. Next year will be 20 years, so 19 years this year. And it has not been an easy road. I guess the first thing would be to tell you how I came about with diabetes and how my diagnosis happened. I was taking something for pain that was prescribed by my doctor, and one of the things he told me was that it would cause you to get dehydrated. If it gets too bad, stop taking it. And so what I did was I followed his advice. Um, I took it probably for like 2 weeks, and I realized that, I had been very dehydrated and was drinking a whole lot more water. Not to mention, we had also just had a diabetes education at the church that I was attending. Um, I decided that I needed to call my doctor and let him know that, I've stopped taking it, have stopped taking it now for a week, and I'm still dehydrated, still extremely thirsty. And so he told me to come in. An a we did a urine test, and my A1C was real. Not my A1C, but my Anyway, I was really high, and he said, "I want you to take and go get a blood test done tomorrow." I was working at the hospital at the time, so the next morning I went in and had a blood test done, and my result came back that my sugar glucose actually was 975, um, which obviously is extremely high. And I had been told by more than one person the fact that I was still walking and talking was an absolute miracle. Most people, once their sugar hits 300 or 500, they go into a coma and they never wake up. Thankfully, the Lord was looking out for me, and apparently, I had a story I had to tell. Um, that began my diabetic journey. One of the things that most people don't realize, and something that I'm happy to educate others on, is sometimes you can come across as when your sugar is extremely high, you let off a scent that everybody seems to think more so that you have been drinking or that you are just full of alcohol. My coworker, she's a sweet lady, and she told me that she goes, "Dana, I know that you don't drink, and the fact that you seem like you were just really, really, really drunk this morning, I'm glad to know that that's not what it was and that it was your sugar." She goes, "I thought for sure you had been drinking." Um, and I tried to pass that bit of information on to other coworkers simply because of the fact that I want them to be educated on that. Um, you have people that, yes, they do drink, they have been known for drinking, but that does not mean that that's what's going on with them. It could be more of a serious health concern, and that's something that they need to be aware of. Most people aren't aware of that, and so therefore, you get people getting in trouble for no reason. Um, I had been, I had used a syringe, which, your little vial first, and um, I had used that for probably about a year or so, and then my doctor put me on an insulin pen, which obviously made dosing so much easier. And then when they came out with the quickie pens, he was quick to make sure that I got a quickie pen too. Um, I loved it, believe it or not, the quick pen, because it's just, a matter of turning and um, dialing up the right amount of insulin. You didn't have to worry about trying to draw it through the needle, and making sure your eyes are focused correctly so you can see. Um, it was, for me, a challenge simply because I hate shots. I'm one of those people, if you're going to stick me, I have to see you stick me. That's the only way that I can psychologically prepare myself for the pain of the needle, obviously. People call me crazy because I do that, but I am one of those and I need to see what's going on. If you come at me from behind, because I've had a shot in the butt before, I don't like those. I have a tendency to jump more simply because I don't know where your hand is, I don't know where the needle is, and I'm not prepared for the needle. If I can see it coming, I'm a little bit calmer and I don't react too badly. I'm not going to say that my journey as a diabetic has been an easy one, because it is not. Diabetes can be the lead for so much more that can possibly go wrong. 2003, like I said, was the diabetes. 2005, I had a stroke, which the Lord blessed that I recovered from that just fine as well. I do get, if I get overly tired or something to that effect, my speech might get off a little bit. I will stutter every now and again. And that has just done nothing but give me more frustration than anything else, because I don't like to stutter, because I normally don't. But over the years, the diabetes was managed pretty decently. Had a job, lost a job, insurance changes. Didn't know about certain programs, but when I did find out, I made sure to take it and utilize them. Especially when it comes to getting medication. Me being a diabetic doesn't automatically qualify me for Medicaid, and to get medicines. So I had to find other programs, especially when I was unemployed. I had to find other programs that would help me to get the medicines that I needed in order to maintain my life, basically. In the last few years here, especially the last couple of years, 3 years or so, I really was trying to get a better handle on my diabetes and keeping everything under control. I noticed that my left eye, was becoming extremely blurry, or I could see a ring of light outside of it when I'm going down the road, because I used to have to go to work. And it was dark when you're driving to work, so therefore you got street lights and you've got car lights and everything that's coming at me. I noticed that it was have a ring of light ring around it, and that kind of got me concerned. Come to find out, it was just cataracts. I do need to get surgery for that. So in the process of finding out that it was cataracts, I found out also that my right eye had a diabetic bleed in it. Retinopathy, I think is what it's called. But it was unexpected, because I was not expecting that. I know exactly what it is. I had been looking all kinds of information up as far as your eyes and eye health, and keeping in mind that I am diabetic and what can come of the fact that my diabetes is out of control. So being diagnosed roughly around July last year let me know that I need to take it and do more to get myself and to keep my health, so I can be here for my daughter, be here for my mom, especially after my dad died. Just being here for my family to make sure that everybody's okay, and making sure also, because my mom is also diabetic, that she's taking care of herself. Figuring that the more education I get, the better I can take it and actually educate her. Trying to look out for both of our health, really, and for the health of my daughter, who really is 27. She can look out for herself. She does a better job looking out for me and my mom than I do personally for myself. So that was pretty much my diabetic story summed up really quick and short. Last month, I finally was able to get a Dexcom unit, which I was glad to have because I needed to know what my sugars were doing. And we all know with life, you don't always stop and want to take it and do a shot, or not do a shot because I always wanted to do a shot, but not really wanted, but you know what I mean. Knew that I needed to do one. But the whole fact of stopping, having to test your sugar, the whole poking your finger, and sometimes the wonderful strip just wouldn't work, and so you had to redo it. And wasting a whole entire testing strip is considered to me as a waste of money. So therefore, I was not happy with it. Did not appreciate the fact that this is what was going on. So having this Dexcom unit has actually really helped me out. Also, back in July of last year, my family doctor said that he wanted me to have a monitor anyway, but when he sent in the request, it got flat out denied. And that just to me was absolutely crazy because Lord knows I needed it, but having to be told that no, you can't have it because your insurance says that you don't qualify was a little upsetting. I asked him to send me over to endocrinology, and when they did it, it got approved almost automatically. And I also found out that my pancreas is not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not producing insulin, or definitely not producing enough insulin. So I also got approved at that time as well for an insulin pump, which I've also just recently started using it. Actually, I want to say that was this year on the 8th of January. So I'm just happy because when I check my sugar, it's within the normal ranges. And to be able to sit down and look at a computer and actually be able to read the screen without your eyes doing one of those crazy, I'm focusing, but yet I don't want to focus. And you can be looking at the screen, and I know I'm going to have problems because I still haven't had the cataract surgery, but just being able to see with the one good eye, knowing that that prescription and the glasses and everything hasn't changed in years, but just being able to still see out of it and somewhat focus on being able to read just the little tiny writings. And I sit at a computer all day long. That's what I do for a living. But being able to read the screen and see the screen and being able to focus without a problem is absolutely wonderful. For the first time in years, I can say for the last almost a week, it'll be a week on Saturday, but for the last almost week, just to have my blood sugars stay where they're supposed to. In years, this has not been that way for the last, for sure, 10 years, I want to say. But just to have it there where it's supposed to be, knowing that I'm getting it back under control, is absolutely wonderful feeling. And I'm not upset about having to use a pump. I'm nowhere near that because the only thing that failed was a pancreas. It wasn't through my failure or my lack of trying. It's just trying to find that wonderful happy spot. Exercise, I know you guys are probably saying, well, why didn't you try exercise? Why didn't you try to do this? But I did. I have a dog. I go out and I walk him. I'm not going to say I get up and do it all the time, no, because Once it gets hot here in South Carolina, being outside is almost a death trap. With me, being outside and not being able to breathe because I do have asthma, like I said before, um, being outside is not great when it's hot. You can't breathe. Um, Being behind a car that's got horrible fumes, you can't breathe. It's just as dangerous. But that's just one of those things that I decided that this year I'm going to make sure I take better control of my life, my health. Um, because I do have people that I love that I don't want that to be the reason that I die. I don't want my health to be, especially my poor health, because it's something that I could have taken care of. I don't want that to be the reason I die. I want to take better care of myself. I am a woman. I am, if you hadn't noticed, a black woman. And we have a horrible reputation for being ill will, being ill mannered, being angry all the time, being overweight, eating the wrong things. And I don't want to fall into that stereotype. And I don't want my daughter to see that in me. So today is the first day of me of me actually recording what my life journey is going to be for this next year. I am curious to see where I come out at, what I do, hopefully how much weight I can actually lose, because I can get back out and still cold, so it's a good time to be out walking the dog. I need to see where I end up at. And the only way I can do that is to be accountable to myself. And to be accountable to myself is to have a video of what I'm saying to myself. So, get yourself in order, get your health straight. We're going to work a little bit harder on losing weight this year. And I'm going to hold you every bit accountable for your life. That's it. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great day. Bye.